What's up today, my fellow Madden soldiers? So what I'm going to be doing right now is going over the best abilities you can put on your squad right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So from time to time, what I do is I always like trying out new abilities because I realize that EA has made it a priority to put big emphasis on abilities this year. And what I mean by that is you have to power up certain cards in order to get certain abilities, or buy these expensive cards or these newer cards that they come out with because they usually have discounted abilities. So with that being said, I realize that when you're playing defense, offense too, but when you're playing defense, there's certain things that happen, and if you don't have certain abilities, you're less likely to make certain plays. So I'm gonna get into that right now when I get into the defensive ones, but let me go ahead and start off with the offensive ones. Now we're gonna go ahead and start off with the QB first because I've been using KOSAR for a minute and I have not changed his abilities at all because I realize how OP they are. So if your quarterback's able to get these abilities, these are abilities that I would actually look for. Okay, so I put Bazooka on him, and the reason why is because I usually go with dots because once it's activated, it grants perfect passing on any throw. However, the abilities that I have, which makes him an even better QB, it gives him perfect pass accuracy. So because of that, I put Bazooka on him just to give him that extra throw power once it's activated. So sideline Deadeye, I'm gonna have to go with because it's perfect pass accuracy on throws outside the numbers, meaning that anything you throw on the outside, it's gonna be a perfect throw. And this one's inside Deadeye, which perfect pass accuracy on throws inside the numbers. So these covered all the areas. So no matter where I throw it at, he's gonna be able to throw it perfectly. And I'm telling you right now, that combined with a good receiver who can run his route is a very vicious combination because I've been testing it out, and not only is he able to launch it and make a perfect pass, the receiver, because they're good, able to get the pass and go ahead and run it for 6. And then the Fearless. You guys already know that this year when it comes, if you guys don't have Fearless on your QB, if you guys are running with your QB or trying to throw it with your QB when the defenders come in and rush in, they're less likely to make the pass because usually something will pop up saying, oh, defensive pressure, so he wasn't able to throw it accurately and so forth. But with this Fearless, I noticed that KOSAR majority of the times makes majority of his throw. Even as he's being tackled, I'm starting to see that this guy is making throws. So that's what I will say when it comes to the QB. You can also put like Gunslinger and stuff like that, depending, right? But you have to be smart about how you use your AP. But Gunslinger is another one that's actually pretty decent. When it comes to your halfback, there's several that I like, right? I always put Freight Train on my halfback because to me, it seems to be the best one when it comes to X factors. When it comes to a running back apprentice, when it comes to the abilities, running back apprentice, I didn't use it all year up until I got Deion Sanders, and I used it because he got it for 1 AP. So I was like, let me go ahead and try it out. And I realized what I was missing out on because me being able to put him on that little wheel route, it throws off the defense. And so when he runs out there and he cuts and he runs up the middle, the first play that I ever did with him, and you guys seen it because I did a gameplay, this guy ran for 6. It was crazy on top of the fact that he's fast. So that's a good one. Evasive is another one because you're able to, what happens with evasive, right, and he gets it for 1 AP, is that he's able to spin and juke. He's able to get those, like it says, grant steerable spin and juke moves. So he's able to be more effective at the spin and juke move because you have evasive on him. I like short and elite also because especially when you put him out to do a route, he's able to run his route much more effectively. So I do like that stuff when it comes to the halfback. Another one that I will say, I know you guys have your own, is a reach for it because Emmitt Smith is already OP at breaking tackles and rushing for those extra yards. Once you have Reach Elite activated on him, if that's what you want to put on him, he fights for yards at least 5 to even 10, 8 to 10 yards, right? Like he'll bust through even more. So that's what I like about when it comes to reach for it. The only reason I'll have it activated on him right now is because of the AP. I had to spread it around, and I put something on my wide receiver, and majority of it is going on my quarterback because I want him to make accurate throws. But it still don't take away the fact that reach for it is pretty OP. And when it comes to the linemen, one thing that I will say, well, let's start off with the receivers, right? Because they got some for the receivers. If you guys want to know what some for the receivers is, I like Outside Apprentice, and I also like Slot Apprentice. To me, Slot Apprentice seems to be better because when you put them in the inside and you're able to put them on a nice route that they give you, these additional routes, they're able to make better plays that I know of. On the outside, it's a little bit harder, but on the inside, when it comes to the Slot Apprentice, they're much more effective. That's why it's right here. Watch Slot Apprentice, be sure you guys can see. Is it right here? Yeah, Slot Apprentice. But that's why it's more AP. I wish it was less AP, but it's more AP. So only certain cards will have it for more of a discounted AP, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have it. But the only reason I don't pick up those cards is because I wanted TYREEK Hill because he's short and he's fast. He's 93 speed, and I like putting him at the slot and having him do certain routes for me. So that's the reason why I didn't want to pick up these other cards. I wanted to mix around my receiver core. So that's what I will say about the receivers. You go with deep in elite, deep out in elite too, but if I really had to pick, I would rather go with Slot Apprentice, especially if you know how to use it, because it's more OP. And when it comes to your alignment, honestly, the best ability that I would say, and not because it helps with blocking or anything like that, but it's more so it helps you be able to make decisions because you know where your opponent's at all times. And with that said, I like Identifier. And honestly, if I had to pick only one ability on offense, I would have to go with Identifier for the whole squad. If I had to just pick with anything on offense, because I always like knowing where my opponent's at. I'm telling you right now, knowing where he's at, it helps me to adjust my routes and move accordingly. And sometimes, like I said, I usually get a lot of yards, or sometimes I'll usually go and make a touchdown, one play touchdown, depending on where he's at, right? But that's what I do like a lot. There's other abilities like Edge Protector and stuff like that, you know. You go, but a lot of people, they're not really going to put on all these abilities on their O-line. They're usually going to want the one that's going to help out the most, and to me, it's Identifier. Majority of the times, you're going to put your abilities on your halfback, your QB, and maybe a few on your wide receivers. But if you guys do want to know on your O-line, let me know, and I'll do one just specifically on the O-line, and we'll go ahead and make a juiced up O-line. Now on defense, all right. Defense is where it's gonna get, where I experimented a lot, and I'm telling you right now, my team has been playmakers since, I wouldn't say I discovered it, but since I've been experimenting with it based on what's happening. And if you guys know, I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. What happens is when you're out there playing defense, the ball bounces. What I notice is a lot of tip balls, and a lot of times your cornerbacks or your defenders will not catch the ball. So I was like, okay, well, if that's the case and no one's catching it, tip drill has to be effective at that, right? Tip drill has to be help them be able to catch these passes. So let me go ahead and try out tip drill on my cornerbacks, right? Or my defensive backs, I say, which is cornerbacks and safeties, and see how much more effective they are, because a lot of balls are being dropped and they're not catching them, and it's so frustrating. So this is what I did on all my safeties, my starting safeties and my cornerbacks. The only one that I took one off on was Shaquille Griffin, which I'm gonna show you right now, is because I used 2 AP on Derrick Brooks, but I'm gonna show you right now. But let me go ahead and start off with Malik Hooker. All my cornerbacks and safeties have this, so don't worry about the X factor. That's like, I'm going to more talk about the abilities right now. I put tip drill and pick artist. So let's go ahead and see what they do. Tip drill has higher chance to catch tip passes. Pick artist, better catching and improved stamina on interception returns. So check that out. With tip drill, if the ball tips up in the air, you have a better chance of catching it. And I added this on it, so it's better catching, so it ups his chances of catching it and improves stamina once he intercepts it. So not only do I have one where if the catch is tipped, I have one also where it's better catching. So if you're running out there and you're trying to throw the ball out there, this guy will jump up and he has a better chance at catching it. And if the ball tips, he also has a better chance at catching the tip ball. And let me tell you one thing, it's been working a lot. Even tip balls that you really don't even consider tip balls, these guys are out there making plays and making it happen. So the only one I don't have pick artist on right now is Shaquille Griffin. I took it off him because his pick artist went for 2 AP. So it's like, I'm gonna put the 2 AP on Derrick Brooks. because he gets acrobat for 2 AP. So I just moved it around. But besides that though, everybody has it and they all still make plays, because if I had to pick one ability right now to put on all my cornerbacks, if you guys want to know, like if you want to mix your AP around and put them on other places, the #1 ability that I will put on my cornerbacks right now would be tip drill, because the ball's always being tipped consistently and they have a higher chance of catching that ball if you have tip drill on them. And I'm telling you right now, it does make a big difference. So if you want your team to be more playmakers, put that tip drill on them. And majority of times, I don't see any higher than 1 AP. It's going to be very rare that tip drill is going to be more than 1 AP on your cornerbacks and safeties. So that's another reason why it's a big plus on top of that. So acrobat, we already know it's pretty OP, right? But majority of times it's 5 AP. I put it on Derrick Brooks just for the simple fact that he gets it for 2 AP. So show you guys right here, right? He gets acrobat for 2 AP and then he gets lurker for 0 AP. I went with acrobat right now if he's actually because, you know, depending on where they throw the ball, if he actually makes a lot of plays with it, I'll keep it on him. But if he don't, I'll go back to lurker for the 0 AP to go ahead and keep that, because, you know, I'm not paying nothing when it comes to the AP. So I usually don't encourage people to get acrobat, even though I do know it's OP at times. Is for the simple fact it's a lot of AP. So I usually try to give you guys AP that is great, but also you could be able to mix around your team. And that's why I give you guys tip drill or pick artist, stuff like that. But if I had to pick one, it would be tip drill on all my defensive backs, and then all my defensive tackles. The number one ability that I have on my defensive tackles is inside stuff, right? Because I realize when the running back runs in the inside, this guy will pop out of nowhere and shut down the run. The outside is usually pretty covered. I could put the outside zone, but I don't even have to trip on that, because my linebackers are so good that they're going to stop the play either way. So all I worry about is the inside. And so that's why on Jeffrey Simmons, I put inside stuff, because he stops the play very fast. So that's a big plus. And this player right here is free. So let me go ahead and go over him. This player, Tony SIRAGUSA, that's how you're saying it, is free. And the reason why I say that is because he gets goal line stuff for 0 AP. So you go ahead and play the all Madden solos, pick this player up, activate goal line stuff, get it for free. So he's more effective when you guys are at the goal line, and he's able to make a lot more plays for you. So we already know about that goal line stuff, always been OP. But to know you guys can get that player for free and activate it is a big plus, right? So, like I said, lurker is good too, because usually a lot of the middle linebackers, they'll get it for 1 AP. So, if I had to go with anything, let me go ahead and simplify it for you. I'll go with tip drill and pick artist on my cornerbacks, lurker on anyone that you're using, right? Especially if it comes to your linebackers or whatever the case may be. Any lurker, especially if it's discounted. And then for your defensive tackle, I will put inside stuff. To me, that seems to be the best one. Whatever you guys' best one, let me know. But to me, that's what's been effective for me, and it's been making I've been seeing a lot, like I said, big changes happening when it comes to my team and how they're out there playing on the field. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it right there. Let me know what abilities you like running on your offense and defense, the best ones. You don't have to name all of them, you can, but let me know, like if you had to pick 1 and 1 on offense and defense, or 2 and 2, let me know the best ones that you just have to have, because they're that good. On defense for me, it'll be tip drill, pick artists, and inside stuff. To me, they're going to be the top 3, because I know it makes a big difference on my squad. So anyways, there it is there. If you guys like seeing, drop a like on the video. Until next time, I'm out.